Here are all the various differences I noticed between the 1988 book and the 2020 graphic novel of Babysitter's Club, Logan Likes Mary Anne. The graphic novel starts with the Perkins girls for some reason. In the book's recap, Marianne explains how she learned to talk to boys that summer. The graphic novel removes this. The graphic novel removes the conversation about Dawn's dad and Christy's dad. When Dawn says Marianne has a crush, she gets scared and runs away. In the book, she flinches because she doesn't want to be boy crazy like Stacey. Then she talks about Cam Geary's wonderful eyes, which doesn't exactly make her seem less boy crazy. Janine doesn't talk in the book. In the book, the girls talk about Cam's girlfriend, Corey Lalique. Marianne thinks she can't be 14 because her chest is too big. The graphic novel removes this conversation, replacing it with all the girls teasing Marianne because she likes Cam. The graphic novel removes Stacey's Porky Pig impersonation. That's unfortunate. Claudia talks about Alan Gray in the cicada incident. That conversation's not in the book. Now I'm wondering what the cicada incident was. They remove the part where the girls talk about their classes and discussing cafeteria food. Marianne instantly falls in love with Logan in the book. In the graphic novel, she only has a crush on him, and it takes her hours to realize it. Mallory's not in the original book at all, so everything that happens with Mallory in the graphic novel is totally made up. Marianne brings up the fact that Christy should advertise in her new neighborhood. In the book, Christy brings that up. They remove the discussion of how much it will cost to make flyers. Claudia goes all goo-goo over Marianne's crush on Logan. In the book, Claudia says, "I think you like him, Marianne." That's all. She doesn't go crazy. They remove the conversation about bras. The graphic novel adds a scene of Marianne going home and asking her dad about Dawn's mother. They remove the scene where the girls talk about disgusting cafeteria food, again. They remove the minor argument where Marianne criticizes Christy for doing an advertising blitz when the club was already plenty busy. Christy argues back, defending herself. In the book, the girls are shocked to learn that Logan babysits. It doesn't seem to surprise them in the graphic novel. Logan doesn't have an accent in the graphic novel. They remove the part where Logan's buddies compliment him for hanging out with a bunch of girls. In the book, all the other girls think Logan is cute. In the graphic novel, they don't seem to be attracted to him. No one notices Marianne dressed up for Logan. In the book, Marianne is so nervous she drops the appointment book multiple times. They remove the part where Claudia almost says bra in front of Logan, and everybody gets awkward. In both versions, they talk about funny babysitting disasters, although the stories they tell are different. In the book, Logan starts to talk about a potty training disaster before realizing he can't talk about that in front of girls. Marianne is far less nervous during the sitting job for Jackie. She even makes a joke for Logan. The Radowskis aren't redheads anymore. There is no mention of Jackie's grasshopper Elizabeth, and he doesn't get his hand stuck in the grasshopper jar. I always remember that scene in the book because it's on the cover. Some of Jackie's accidents change. He steps in mud, which is unique to the graphic novel, and instead of knocking Marianne into Logan's arms, he knocks her and Logan sideways. The graphic novel completely removes Chapter 7, a babysitting chapter with the Perkins and their dog. Dawn takes the call from the Radowskis. In the book, Marianne does it. In the book, all the girls are reluctant to let Logan join the club because he'll make meetings awkward. They decide to call Logan and work out the awkwardness issue first. In the graphic novel, they don't care about that, and they agree to let him join the club right away. In the book, it's no big deal that Marianne's the one who has to call Logan with club news. In the graphic novel, Marianne screams and lies on the ground while the others pounce on her, forcing her to do it. It's kind of extreme, actually. Jessi isn't in the original book at all, so all the scenes with Jessi are completely made up for the graphic novel. The Dr. Seuss book is replaced with a fictional book. Most of Stacey's party planning is cut out of the graphic novel. The graphic novel adds a scene where Marianne asks her dad if she can go to the dance. The graphic novel splits the book's chapter 10 into 3 chapters. One split happens after all the dance preparation, the other happens after Marianne's shoe goes flying. In the book, Marianne sits on the bleachers. The graphic novel has her hide in the bathroom for a while before going to the bleachers. The graphic novel cuts out chapter 11, where Dawn babysits Christy's siblings, and they talk a bit about Marianne's movie date. The graphic novel adds a chapter where Mallory and Jessi become best friends. As I said, neither Mallory nor Jessi are in the original book. Logan doesn't call Marianne to tell her the plot of the movie Meatballs. Marianne invites Logan to Stacey's party in both versions. In the graphic novel, Marianne specifically uses the word date to describe it. In the book, Logan repeats he doesn't want to join the Babysitters Club. Marianne pressures him, and he says he'll think more about it. In the graphic novel, he is interrupted before this conversation takes place. The book goes into detail about all the other guests at the party. In the book, Stacey gets a prank call. In the book, Logan and Marianne have a longer conversation at the party, and they talk about different things. They talk about how serious Marianne is. In the graphic novel, he asks if he can call her his girlfriend. The chapter break is moved. In the original, the chapter ends after Marianne runs away. In the graphic novel, it's after she arrives home and goes to sleep. They remove the parts where Marianne gets mad at her friends for what they did. They remove the part where Marianne waits by the phone, expecting someone to call her. The graphic novel adds a line where Marianne whines to her dad, "But a cat!" I did not like that line. It doesn't fit the conversation or Marianne's personality. I'm not surprised it wasn't in the original book. In the book, Marianne and her dad have a back-and-forth conversation about the cat. The graphic novel changes it to a one-sided conversation where Marianne hits all the same basic points. Dad does not insist on getting a shelter cat. Logan apologizes more in the graphic novel over what happened at the party. In the book, both Logan and Marianne apologize to each other. She doesn't apologize to him in the graphic novel, not that she has much to apologize for. The graphic novel adds a scene where Logan explains he can't join the Babysitters Club because he has to watch his siblings on Monday and Wednesday. The closest scene to this in the book is in the last chapter, where he confesses he doesn't want to join the club because meetings are too awkward. In the graphic novel, Marianne goes to Stacey's house. In the book, she calls Stacey. The book skips over the conversation between Marianne and Stacey. The graphic novel gives us a full conversation. All of Marianne's birthday presents are changed, except Claudia's. She gives Marianne handmade jewelry in both versions. The last scene of the graphic novel takes place in Marianne's house. In the book, it's at a club meeting. In the book, Marianne gets the idea of making Logan an associate member. The graphic novel changes it to Christy. And that's it. Those are all the major changes I noticed. I think the two biggest changes are adding all the stuff with Jessi and removing all the stuff where everyone feels awkward over having a boy in an otherwise all-girl club. The girls make a much bigger deal over Marianne's crush. They don't talk about disgusting cafeteria food or bras, and the graphic novel makes the dance a 3-chapter event. So those are a lot of changes. It's the same basic story, but they're definitely changes.